From the humble beginnings of a track coach looking for a competitive advantage to a worldwide conglomerate, let's take a look at the story of Nike. Okay, so in 1962 now, our buddy Phil Knight graduated from the University of Oregon. He got some odd jobs, went to the military, and ultimately moved back in with his parents. Once that drove him crazy enough, he decided to go back to school, Stanford Business School, to be exact. So one day in a class where he must invent a new business he hadn't. Can Japanese athletic shoes match German athletic shoes? What Japanese cameras did to German cameras. Fast forward to graduation while on a trip with some friends around the world. Must be nice, right? He decided to grab a ticket to Japan. Once he got there, he found these dope shoes in a store. Tiger shoes. Phil was able to land a meeting with Tiger and wowed them with his knowledge of the American shoe market, a market they were looking to get into. Anyway, they asked him, what's the name of the company that he represents? He came up with Blue Ribbon Sports off the top of his head. Told them that they were based in Portland, Oregon, and yeah, they bought it. Phil went back to Oregon, grabbed the sample shoes he got shipped from Tiger and beelines it for the best person he knew who knew about shoes. You see, back at U of O, Phil ran track. He wasn't great, but because he kind of sucked, that made him the perfect test subject for Bill Bauer, a legendary track and field coach who was always looking for a competitive edge because, you see, Bill had a habit of adjusting the shoes of his track stars. He tried to give them better cushioning, lighter weight, etc. Phil linked up with Bauer Tin to get his opinion of the shoes after some tinkering. Coach was so impressed with Tiger's shoes, he decided to become partners. They both put up $500 of 1964 money, and Blue Ribbon Sports was born. Speaking of tinkering, funny stories. Bauer was watching his wife make breakfast one day and noticed the grooves in the waffle maker, and then boom, light bulb. It occurred to him that this waffle pattern would make a great multi-surface sole for a running shoe. So Bobby Boy grabs some plastic epoxy and attempts to make a sole for his shoes, but he forgets the anti-sticking agent. He ruins the waffle, iron, and probably breakfast. But after a new waffle iron, a few more tries, and most likely a night on the couch, he created a design that we still use today. Tons of people consider running for prolonged periods to be cruel and unusual punishment. Eventually, the higher-up sand, Nike realized that it might be time to expand in two different sports. If you're watching this on your phone, odds are that you were not alive in the 1980s, but back then the NBA had not yet become the entertainment juggernaut that it is today. But Nike executive Sonny Vaccaro had it. Coming from a basketball background himself, he first approached the board of Nike about making a basketball shoe division. After much deliberation, engineering, and fine-tuning, the Air Force One was born. Sonny initially got the ball rolling on the basketball division by sponsoring college teams. You see, since this was long before the days of NIL deals, it was strictly forbidden to pay the players. But nobody said anything about coaches. Nike signed some of the top college coaches like Jim Boeheim and Jimmy Valvano to endorsement deals and gave the players all the free shoes and swag. The law would allow a practice that still goes on to this day. Nike has always been ahead of the curve when it comes to marketing their product. And in 1984, they made their most lucrative decision to date since their basketball division was doing so well. They decided to sponsor a player coming out of the 1984 NBA draft. You had a plethora of options for marketing with the characters coming out of that draft, but they ultimately decided to take a chance on the kid who had just come off of winning the NBA. A 6'6" shooting guard with a multi-million-dollar smile named Michael Jordan. Nike took a huge gamble signing a college recruit who hadn't even taken a shot in the NBA game yet, but luckily for them it paid off. And boy, do we mean paid. Everything about this campaign was new, innovative, and exciting. You see, the Jordan 1 was not regular athletic. It was the first signature shoe for an athlete, so everything about it screamed Michael Jordan. Cool, attractive, fun, strong, and most importantly, exclusive. The Jordan 1 originally came in red, black, and white Chicago Bulls colors. And the colorway was so different, the NBA actually banned them in the game, charging Jordan up to $5,000 per game for wearing them. Nike immediately started an ad campaign telling consumers to buy these new dangerous sneakers and happily paid Michael Jordan's fines. Before Jordan 1, Nike did about $100 million in sales annually, and by the end of the first year of the Jordan 1, they sold 170 million of sneakers alone. Nike capped a production on the Jordan 1 to increase demand. They became Nemo's to sought-after sneakers in the stores, and retailers couldn't keep them on the shelves. The demand for Jordan's shoes got to such a fever pitch that people were actually committing acts of violence to get these shoes. When people are literally killing each other to get your product, I think it's safe to say you have it hit. Even today, the Air Jordan is the most popular sneaker in existence. Owning a pair of Jordans is a luxury, a rite of passage, and damn near an accolade. The shoes are the most collectible and resellable shoes there. Today, that iconic Jumpman logo rakes in a tasty $2.8 billion a year. And Miji, yeah, he's doing all right. He owns his own B-18 now. Back in 1988, Nike got the ball rolling with its epic Just Do It campaign, including a commercial featuring 80-year-old running icon Walter Stack running across the Golden Gate Bridge. It was an in-your-face ad campaign that basically said, if this 80-year-old man is running 17 miles a day, what's stopping you? Just do it. Next year, Nike unveiled the Bo Knows campaign. Bo Jackson was a genetic freak. He was a human cheat who played two sports professionally at the same time. Yeah, same time. The Bo Knows campaign was fun to watch as it listed off all the things Bo could do. Trust me, this was one of the catchiest catchphrases of them. Since Bo was a multi-sport athlete, obviously he needed a multi-sport shoe, and that's where we get the cross-trainer from. Now we have shoes for every sport and activity, even driving. Personally, I'm waiting for the Nike sleepers. Remember what Phil Knight and Bowerman paid to start the company, a total of $1,000 at the time of this recording. Nike is currently valued at $197.7 billion. That's basically the GDP of Greece. And Nike is basically the go-to athletic shoe because they take up a crazy 62% of the worldwide athletic apparel market. Michael Jordan is still the biggest athlete. Nike endorses, he's been retired for 20 years. Next on the list are Rory McIlroy, Tiger Woods, LeBron James, and Rafael Elna. Over 100 million people buy Nike products every year to the tune of 780 million pairs sold per year. They sponsor camps, tournaments, benefits, and various charities. Although incredibly successful things have not been all sunshine and rainbows for the boys at Nike. In 1996, Nike came under fire for their child labor practices after Life magazine reported that Nike had been operating sweatshops overseas and really sending the point home with a picture of a 12-year-old boy sewing a football. Nike initially denied any sweatshop shenanigans, claiming that they had little control over their foreign workshops. Even more recently, Nike signed possibly its most controversial athlete to date to an ad campaign. Former NFL quarterback Colin Kaepernick had been allegedly blackballed from the league for his silent protest of police brutality. Even though it's a quarterback's job to take a knee on the field, it had cost. Colin. Some of you probably remember that this controversy had the President of the United States weighing in on the issue. Nike took another gamble in signing and supporting Colin rolling out a social justice campaign to help him fight for his cause. No matter what your athletic needs are, Nike more than likely has several ways to make sure you get the most out of every step. This company has become a cultural icon, changing the way that we look at sports athletes and footwear. And it was all started by two guys looking to win a few track meets. Do you remember your first pair of Nikes? Do you have a favorite style? What was your favorite commercial? Be sure to tell us in the comments below. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel Think Insider. Come on, just do it.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, no, this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now.